We've qualified for the World Cup. Go and compete.
I just want to test my mute button actually just before. Hang on.
Great.
Did that work? Could you hear me say anything?
No.
Yeah.
Class.
Turns out you've been on mute for like the past 11 episodes or something.
Yeah.
What's the gig for though, Adrian? Is it brass or what are you playing?
Yeah, it was a wedding. It was
yeah.
a fucking wedding. Man, I forgot how much I don't like playing weddings. It sucks, but
Why?
whatever.
What's wrong with him?
It's just kind of boring. I mean, it's the same thing over and over. And obviously, the people there, it's like the best day of their lives. But for you, it's just work, and you don't want to be there, but you have to look like you care that it's the best day of their lives. When in fact, it's one of the most forgettable things you'll ever do. You know.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of my life, if someone says like the peak was in a function room of like Fernhill Hotel, dancing the Macarena, I mean, just shoot me now, like.
Yeah, it was literally in Fernhill Hotel as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just no. And I just think those kind of weddings are so fucking done. Like, I think everyone is done with them. Everyone.
The Fernhill type ones.
Yeah, just the kind of traditional, like, I don't know.
It's yeah, I know what you mean. It's the bacon and cabbage of life events.
yeah. Like, I just think, I think there's so many different things you can do now. If 1 in 10 weddings was like that, it's fine. But people, especially older people who like have to go to like their friends' daughter's wedding and all this kind of stuff, for them to go to like 5 or 6 of those weddings a year, you can just tell they're not interested. They're sick of it. I mean, people our age, I don't mind those kind of weddings if I'm a guest. But I guarantee when I'm 50, I'll be like, lads, fuck this. I'm not going to any more of these.
Yeah, I used to work on like the other side. So, like I'd serve like waiter or barman for a lot of weddings, and yeah, during like the summer months, like June to August, it really is. There is no like for all these wedding coordinators that make an absolute mint, and all these hotels and whatnots, event places that charge an absolute fortune to host. There's literally not an ounce of imagination between anyone. It's the same thing, same songs, same playlist, same type of band, even down to like the same type of people.
Being a wedding planner in Ireland must be the easiest fucking gig in the world. Copy paste the names into each plan. John and Mary. Sure, you don't even need to change the names half the time. It's John and Mary.
True.
Yeah,
it's true.
And I think even before, like, it was probably, I don't know, color schemes was like blue or something. Now everyone's trying to be like, I want traditional, but like slightly outside the box. So we might go with like a lime green instead of pink or something. Fucking like everyone thinks they're being unique, and it's like, there's actually been like millions of weddings before you, and nothing you do will ever be unique.
It's all been done. It's all been done many times.
Yeah. It's one of the oldest traditions we have.
For Rob's wedding there in September, they sent out an email saying, because it's going to be in Spain in like September, so it'll be roasting hot, and they were like, don't worry about wearing full suits, you can wear shorts and things. And I'm like, I just know if I showed up in shorts, I'd be the only one in shorts, and everyone else would have full suits on.
I'll bring a pair just in case, because then if you're the only one in suit pants, everyone will be like, Connie, you fucking retard, show us your legs.
Yeah,
go on.
exactly. I should get one of those suits like Shawn Michaels would have or something that you can like pull the legs off. Super kick, like you have to.
Like a nice pair of three-quarter length suit pants and just roll them up. Roll them up. I know you are, I suppose, Adrian, for obvious reasons, but I don't know if you have any intention of ever getting married then. But like, would you go down like that traditional route of church function?
I think I
How?
would hate that. I would
Yeah.
absolutely hate that. Yeah, no. The traditional thing, like, God, even having to talk to or invite relatives who, fucking, I barely talk to my first cousins. Never mind all these people, these random relatives that I've never met before, having to come to the wedding, and then having to like, just dance around the fucking function room in
Yeah.
Fernhill, and having to have that first dance, and everyone just be like, "Oh, that's very nice," and then the speeches and all that. I'm like, no, really not for me.
It's very
Yeah.
interesting, even when you're in the band and you can kind of survey what's going on. Like, okay, first dance is just everyone knows what the crack is, yeah. About 5 or 10 minutes after the first dance, it's always the same. The thing kind of, people start filtering out. They go back to their tables. They go back to the bar. Some people just fucking leave altogether. The groom is never anywhere to be seen, and the wife, well, the bride is like always constantly on the dance floor, just saying hi to people, taking pictures. It's like a networking thing for her at that point. And the husband, the groom is gone. The groom is out smoking fags for the next 2.5 hours. Like, so, like, I don't see how it's enjoyable for anyone. It's like ticking boxes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. Even just the dress wear of weddings, I find is like you can wear some really stylish stuff and some really comfortable clothing, but it all feels a bit restrictive. Even like the white dress for a bride. I mean, isn't that the most
Oh, it's mad.
not
It's
fit for
fucking,
purpose?
it's bonkers. Like,
Yeah. Fucking,
I,
I'd say the best thing to do is have it in a different country for sure. I would be in favor of that. So it trims the list down of people. Because that's the thing, like you see, like you can't help but do a little bit of like comparing, right? When you see like Facebook and Instagram, people you know or people that you know who know or someone else you know, kind of thing. Big weddings, like 200 odd people there. I'd say I'd struggle to get 50 people. Like honestly, hand on my heart, people I genuinely wanted to be there. I think
yeah,
50 would be like tops.
of people that I genuinely would want to be there, yeah, 50 would be pushing it.
Yeah. Do you know? So it must be that they have like 75% of people that are there to either pick up a dinner or that they know will show up. And that's, again, feels very showy.
I know. I mean,
So-
half the time people just do these things because they see other people do them. Should they, if they arrived down on an alien spaceship or whatever, and they didn't know what a wedding was at all, someone wouldn't want to do any of this shit. They really wouldn't.
No. And so the whole basis or the foundation of marriage is a farce anyway.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh, it's
you know.
fucking. It's very misogynistic to the core.
Hmm.
No matter what people would say to the contrary.
Exactly. It's all money, really. You could literally just sign a paper and do the same thing. This person will or won't inherit
Yeah,
my stuff.
exactly. Have you ever seen the movie Phantom Thread?
No.
Daniel Day-Lewis. He's like a dressmaker in it. He's like makes dresses for weddings and events for very elite people. So there's a bunch of scenes where he has to like make really fancy dresses for very fancy people, and they have these massive, big weddings. And then when he gets married in the movie, he gets married in like the registry office with 2 witnesses, and that's it.
Mm.
And I was like, you know what, dead right. That's that's exactly how I do it. The bare minimum amount.
Yeah, even cost. I know
Yeah.
that makes like sound like Scrooge or whatever, but like, yeah, why pay these thousands that you will never recoup? I guess. But anyway.
There's a real like toxic culture around it actually, because we went to one or two things like wedding fairs or whatever you call them, and it's just like stalls in a big warehouse, and there's like dress stalls and jewelry and tuxes and flowers and all photography and shit, but it's just about like we went up to things and we just wanted to see and get ideas and stuff for like I don't know, just to see what the story was. And the first thing they say is, "When's your date?" And if you're like, "Well, we actually haven't set a date," it's honestly like you suddenly become invisible. It's like, well, you're no longer a valid customer, so I'm not even going to bother talking to you. Like they'll just go on their phone or something. And,
Wow.
and you're like, you actually don't give a shit about my wedding. All you give a shit about is the money you're going to get from it. And obviously, like, it's the same with me, like, playing the gig. I don't give a shit about someone's wedding. I just give a shit about the money. So like the whole culture around it is so toxic. So you are better off just like trying to organize something that's basically just a big party for your friends and family. If you want some traditional bits, some speeches and shit that's not going to cost you money, then grand. But like even hotels, the minute you say it's a wedding, they will give you like, oh yeah, we'll give you a wedding discount. So like your guests will get a discount. But a lot of the time, if you try and book on the same night and you don't say it's with the wedding party, you'll get it for cheaper,
Yeah,
which is
That's
fucking
it.
outrageous.
Maybe
any place like that offers discounts, their prices are already jacked up, base prices. Like so,
Mm.
you know.
maybe the way to do it would be to invite people to a party like a month or two in advance, and just don't even tell them it's your wedding, and see what kind of people would actually show up or who you'd actually want to invite to a party.
That'd be
That's actually good.
yeah, that is, isn't it? But I mean, it could end miserably, and like everyone's like, "No, I'm busy." Like
Yeah,
no one shows up. But then maybe that's the true test, you know?
that is the true test, because it's like, well, fuck it. If you give a few months' notice to someone anyway to hang out, and they can't hang out, then fuck it.
It's like who and who doesn't listen to our podcast and call themselves friends.
Very true.
You know who you are. Well, you're
Yeah.
probably not listening, so never mind.
But you're getting the link to this podcast in the group chat, whether you like it or not.
I know someone they used to work like changing the beds in hotels or whatever, cleaning the rooms, and they just told me the worst part of any day was like cleaning the any honeymoon suite or whatever it is, because you just know. I mean, most hotel rooms you're probably a bit grossed out anyway, but you know when you go into the honeymoon suite that's people have just been fucking riding all over.
But yeah, that's I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'd see my wedding night as being, you know, the best night.
That's what I was thinking. I'd be fucking
You know,
knackered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. I don't know if I can perform again under all these conditions.
That's why the groom, they leave the dance floor immediately and they're just smoking cigarettes out the front for the whole evening. They're like, no, keep it
Yeah.
together. Don't get too drunk.
Literally popping Viagra from 7 p.m. on. But that's it. Like, they're going to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like, that's sleep time.
I know. And it's most weddings would be in the summer, so the sun would be coming in the windows.
Yeah.
You just
And I
like,
mean,
fuck me.
you're hardly going to put on an hour top tier performance at that point. Like, you know.
An hour.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, maybe that's a bit short.
A bit short, yeah. Fuck's sake.
You guys do.
After years in a relationship, an hour is
Nonsensical,
yeah, unpractical,
unfathomable.
Unviable.
unenjoyable.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a pump and
Like,
dump.
Yeah. I mean, after like 20 minutes, there's probably going to be like, how long more?
Yeah, it's like we could have got a quarter of Stranger Things done in this time.
Oh man, we shouldn't have gone down this route.
Well, we're down it. There's only one way around. We're going around it.
Can I make a swift transition to just something absolutely the other side of anything we've been talking about? I'm just worried we won't get to it, and it's been on my mind for honestly the last 2 weeks. You know rivers, right?
Yeah, I do.
Well, we were walking down over the bridge by our place the other day, and the river was, I don't know, it was kind of high, I guess, and it was just like gushing past, and I was like, isn't it mad that aren't rivers just mental? Like when you stop and you think about it, aren't they just a bit mad? And Sonia was kind of like, well, no. But I was like, but like, where do rivers come from? Because I was like we're taught in geography that it rains on mountains and gravity makes the water flow down the mountain, and it comes from all different mountains, and it joins, and a stream becomes a river, and then a river flows into the sea. But I was looking at how much water was going under this bridge. I mean, an unfathomable amount of water was going under this bridge every second. And I was like, this is Ireland, like one of the rainiest places ever. And if I put a bucket outside, I still couldn't catch like a full bucket of water in a day. So how is it that there's enough water coming off these mountains for like thousands of liters or fucking gallons of water to be flowing under this bridge like all the time, constantly? And it's not tidal, it's not anything to do with that. It's like, because I found myself googling this, saying, where do rivers come from? And the answer is clouds evaporate up in the mountains, and it flows down and turns into a river. That doesn't fucking make sense to me. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Yeah,
This is a bit like me
Truman
with
moment.
me with fucking record players, just not believing it. Like it doesn't make sense. But I kind of see what you're saying, that the numbers don't quite seem to add up.
No,
But
like,
yeah,
what are they hiding from us?
I know.
Yeah,
And
but I saw something that was like it kind of blew my mind a little bit, because I think we all know that like the planet is like 70% water, 30% land. But you know the way we look at a map, and it's obviously it's wrong in its proportions and stuff. But like the world map that we know, and the globe is a little bit off. But if you look at an accurate other side view of like, put like Fiji at the center of like the map or the globe with the real proportions, like the entire globe is just water. Like we forget that a lot of it is, a lot of like human and civilization is all piled into like this little landmass. And it actually, it kind of just blew my mind. So maybe that's where the water comes from for the River League.
No, it's not. Because rivers always flow the same way. They don't flow in and out.
when we were being taught this in school, geography, about rivers, and how I remember someone saying, one teacher being like, a river will never join up with another river. Like two rivers do not cross over each other or whatever. And I was just thinking, that's bullshit. That can't be true. And even then, seeing like maps of the Amazon rainforest, where it's just like a web of rivers all crossing over each other and jumping over each other. I'm like, what the fuck is this supposed to be then?
Yeah, we shouldn't trust our teachers. That's what we did wrong. Number one, because Rourke said that if we answered the geography project in the Leaving Cert in this exact way, we'd all get A's, and none of us did. Like, that's a big lie. That's a big lie.
Yeah.
So if it's the same person that said that rivers don't cross, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Maybe on the off season we'll pick like one thing in geography that just does not make sense.
You know,
Analyze it.
Yeah, I'm looking out my window right now, like looking at all the clouds in the sky and being like, all of that is water, right? Are clouds all water? I don't even know.
Yeah, it is,
They're vapor or whatever.
If you condensed it all, it would be, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like looking at all these clouds. There's probably like 3 or 4 massive clouds in the sky right now. I'm like, you know, I could see all of that if it dropped on, if you put that on the ground, that'd be a lot of water, enough to justify rivers being as big as they are. So I think we've solved it, actually. Adrian.
No, we haven't. Because where are all these fucking mountains then? Where's the nearest mountain to Kieran? You live near us. Where's the nearest mountain to here that the River Lee is coming from?
Well, doesn't the River Lee start in like the Cork and Kerry Mountains or something like that, right?
Yeah,
that's where it would have initially been.
I need to see this. Like, this is like, you may as well be telling me that God is up there, like pissing down the mountain, because people are just like, well, it's very high and there's lots of clouds and it turns into water, and yeah, it's a lot of water. Like, show me that fucking happening. That's what's bugging me.
But these were the conversations that people must have had like a millennia ago.
exactly.
This was like the primitive discussion.
The fact that it doesn't sound quite right makes it seem more legit, because if someone was going to make something up, they'd make it sound, like this is the way it works, and you can't question it. Like God, that's what people came up. They were like, it's a magic fella, you can't see him and he does everything. People would be like, okay, right, I'll take your word for that. Whereas now it's like, well, there's like a water table and there's vapor in the air and it rains on mountains and it drains into patterns and that flows down the river, and you'd be like, doesn't quite sound right, doesn't add up to me. That makes it more legit, probably, because they don't have to convince you, they're just telling you how it is.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, maybe I just need to not question it, but it's good to just look around and is it just a big simulation?
Well, this is it. It's good to have an open mind about these things too, because I saw someone asking, like, I don't know, it was some sportsman, like he went to visit a school, and they asked him whether he puts cereal or milk in first when he's having a bowl of cereal, and he's like, well, I put the cereal in first, then the milk, but we need to start wondering why people think that's the right way and that the other way around is the wrong way. I thought it was very thought-provoking.
Yeah, even the tea bag, or like the milk in the tea before the tea or whatever, because it's often said that, like, if you put milk in your cup before you put tea in, that's like what Protestants do. Like, that's what I was always told. People who put milk in their tea before the tea are Protestants. And so it's weird to us to do that. But I'm like, it nearly makes more sense.
Yeah, it's like the toaster in the cupboard. I mean, I don't do it, but it also would save a lot of like space.
Well, to be honest, the space the toaster is taking up is space that's reserved for the toaster anyway. So I wouldn't be putting anything in place of the toaster.
I've never heard the toaster in the cupboard thing.
Yeah, apparently that's like same as the milk before tea bag. The press versus the I don't know what the alternative is anymore. Airy cupboard.
It just doesn't seem that practical. Like, if the toaster's hot, you have to wait for it to cool down and then remember to put it back in.
How often do you use your toaster? Is it like a daily thing?
I just had toast right now, so I can't say it. I had it like 10 minutes ago.
No, maybe like 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay. See, that's it. I find people either use it like it's like running a tap or seldom. Which is, again, why do you not use it every day, Adrian?
Because I don't have toast every day.
We got to the bottom of that one faster than the rest.
Toast is not a part of my regular meal plan, I would say. I wouldn't have toast for lunch every day. But some people do, so they're going to use it every day or every morning or whatever.
Yeah, I think I toast. But whenever I have bread, it's likely toasted.
Yeah, and I think, if I was having toast, I'm probably going to go ahead and just have a toasted sandwich, and then I'm going to just use the George Foreman. Now you're making me wonder if I even need a toaster.
But that's what kind of drew me to the question myself, because I probably only use the toaster for the kids. Because if I'm having bread, I'm toasting it, and it's usually in the oven because I'm putting like something else on it.
I'd say when a toaster first came on the scene, people must have seen it as the most ridiculous fucking invention going, because they were like, what does it do? Well, it's electrical. You have to power it, and it toasts slices of bread, and that's it. That's all it does. They must have been like, what the fuck? Why would anyone want this? If first you need electricity for it, and all it does is toast like 2 slices of bread, which you can do using 50 other things in your kitchen already, or just hold it in front of the fire, which they would have had in front of the stove, which is how they used to do it. They would have been like, "That's fucking insane."
Yeah. So William Toaster really mugged us off.
Oh yeah, it was a fidget spinner of its time.
Oh man, yeah, they came and went quick, didn't they? Fucking
Oh
hell.
yeah, yeah. They were a whirlwind.
Oh, they were
Literally.
good crack though. They were really good crack.
We still have one, and the cat plays with it.
Yeah. I was never very good at them though.
Sure, what's there to be good at?
I know, yeah. People could do tricks and shit though. Like for the most
They
part, it was
could.
just flick the thing and
Oh my god,
enjoy it.
that
Yeah.
reminds me of how people, when I was a kid, they used to have yo-yo people, trick people come to
Yeah.
schools and perform for us, and then be like, buy these yo-yos. It's like, how did that fucking slip by? Who paid off who to allow this to happen?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure yo-yos were a gateway to cocaine as well, but that's for another day.
Yeah, they're a gateway to fidget spinners and all this kind of shit.
And Toasters.
Tamagotchis.
Oh yeah, they were great.
No, they weren't. I thought they were shite.
It was just again like the fidget spinners. So they were just like a week's worth of entertainment, but like it was a great week, really good week.
It said it was only a great week because there was nothing else to be doing.
Yeah, it's true. The Pokemon card phase had like passed, and it was void in early noughties children's lives. In comes the Tamagotchi.
What else can we find in this fucking Japanese bargain bin? Oh, Tamagotchi. Yeah,
Do you remember Beyblade?
I do, yeah. Geez, they just tried everything.
They did, and it was all like cheap plastic shit.
Yeah. I thought the
Really?
cards were the funniest, like Yu-Gi-Oh and things like that. Just cards. Like not even
Yeah.
like the way Pokemon started as a card game, I think. Or did it? No, it probably just started as a game, but just fobbing people off with cards. And I mean, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I bought the cards, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But Jesus, there's no cheaper toy than fucking cards, for kids.
It's literally cardboard. Yeah.
For
Yeah,
cheaper
same.
to produce, but not cheap to buy.
Yeah. My parents were probably raging having to go. I don't know how much a pack of cards, Pokemon cards was, but like probably like €4 or something. And me like every day being like, "Will you get me another pack?" They'd be like, "Fucking no!" Like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
such a. But the joke's on them now because they're obviously worth like hundreds or thousands.
Well, that's the thing. Like Ollie's mad into it now. Me too, admittedly. But like there is just such an appeal of like, yeah, it's €5 for a pack, but inside the pack could be a card worth €500.
Mm.
know?
And I once stole a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards on a ferry from a shop. Yeah.
Wow. And you're admitting that now? You think it's safe to do
Wow.
that now?
I
They're still
yeah.
looking for you.
Yeah, fucking every ferry company can come and look for me because I'm not saying which one it was. Although in Ireland, there's not that many.
There's not that many.
It's like 2. But
E&O's. I
it
got
was-
you a
yeah.
poster up still.
I think we were on a ferry. It was like my brother's birthday when we were young, and my parents let him buy a booster pack. These packs of like 5 or 6 cards from the shop, and I was so jealous. They wouldn't let me buy one, so I just walked down there and took one.
You're such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I'm pretty sure that's like the thief's logic to this day. Like, well, I'm not allowed to have, the €500 in this till, and they won't let me have it. So I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
take it.
why does he deserve it just because it's his birthday? What has he done to earn it? Fucking
Survival.
bourgeoisie.
Are we going to talk about any football? We don't have to.
Is it-
Um,
is
There's
we don't have to.
There's not much
But,
football to talk about. Really.
No.
This Nations
just-
League, which is
Yeah, I did
on
wanna-
every night of the week.
Yeah, the constant football was supposed to be over. It's every day for the last
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, lads, you're off on your holidays. Good luck. Have a nice break. Oh, by the way, you've been called up to play 4 games in the next 12 days.
Mhm.
Fuck's
Gareth
sake.
Bale made some interesting comments. He said the season is too long and there's too many games. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Get rid of the League
Yeah.
Cup fully.
That what
Like,
that
That's a prestigious trophy.
first trophy of the season, if you don't count the Super Cup or the Community Shield, it's
you
integral.
get rid of them now as well, to be honest.
Yeah, to be honest, I actually could do away with the League Cup. I don't know, maybe they could change it to a Youth Cup, but I mean, there's already Youth Cups, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because what was it? 50, 55 to 60 games that like Jordan Henderson alone played this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
That is too much. And then I mean, he's not in the England squad. Oh no, he's in the England squad. I don't think he's like playing, but tack those on too.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the
Yeah,
internationals and all the rest
he
in the season.
wasn't called up because he had played so many games. That was the story.
Yeah, okay. But it does feel like a bit too much. And to go and have like a jam-packed season like we've just been through, and now have it to start sooner because of some bullshit winter World Cup. You know that again, like that's going to be who. That's like we're going into the unknown next season. How do we know what a mid-season World Cup tournament is going to look like and how it's going to affect players? Like that could really change the league.
It probably will. I mean, you saw Salah coming back from the AFCON. He was fucking on fire before it, and then he came back and I don't know, did he score like 3 goals after it? So I think that'll happen to players as well. If they have a shit World Cup where they're knocked out or whoever gets to the final loses, they probably won't come back half the player. And then there will be the Sadio Manes who go on and win the whole thing and they're on fire then for the rest of the season. So I think it's bollocks. I think it's total bollocks.
It is. But Stephen Kenny, he's a man with a plan, and that plan has finally taken off. Now, by the time this gets published, Ireland have probably lost to Ukraine. However, it was a good victory today, a very good performance, and yeah, I think I said this like last September in some random podcast, but that with a team like Ireland and how poor the players are, Kenny has a plan. He's a system in place, and it takes time. It just takes a bit of momentum, a few good results, and that Ireland team will definitely be a competitive Group B Nations League team in no time at all.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel a bit like he loses like 2 games for every 1 game he wins. But in fairness, like I heard during the week that he came out and he said, you know, the team are still feeling really confident, and I thought it was just waffle. But obviously it wasn't, because they came out and they did play really well, and you could see, even by the way they were kind of not performing, but the way they were acting, like even when they were 3-0 up and they were defending, you know, a good clearance or a good block, and they'd be kind of like pumping the chests and shit. So, I mean, that side of things is really good. I do think our players just aren't good enough to be higher than, like you said, is it a League B team or whatever, category B team? But I mean, the Obafemi goal is probably the best goal we've seen in 10 years from Ireland. I can't
That's true.
think
of a better one.
Yeah, it was a screamer.
And the assist for the previous one for Parrott was great.
Yeah. Is he still with Southampton, your man Obafemi?
I think he's at Swansea.
Okay.
But that's the thing, is that right now it isn't going to work because I think things are like patched together. Like even the likes of, you know, Duffy playing, like really, not really. I know he played in the Premier League, but like Brighton were looking to get rid of him. He played in Scotland for a year, didn't he, with Celtic? He's not really. You could see how uncomfortable he was anytime we were taking like short goal kicks. Like he's not really that player. But then you look at the younger teams. For Ireland now currently, there's quite a bit of success around them. They do pretty well. You know, Kenny has been involved in that underage setup for a bit previously. Maybe have his eye on 1 or 2 players that, you know, they might feature.
But even having to play like Coleman, was he playing today?
Don't think so.
No, he's injured.
Okay.
Who was it?
But
Collins was right back, I think.
But even Duffy, James McLean's still playing. Like, come on, there's surely someone better than James McLean at this point.
Nope.
There probably isn't. Yeah, that's the
Nope.
I've been saying that for 15 years.
thing. I think you're right, Finn. I think James McLean will go down as Ireland's all-time greatest player. It's just the way it's going.
He's up there.
Someone made the point today, but it was just ridiculous because they started saying no one in the Republic of Ireland history has played more games than James McLean except for, and they went on to list like 8 players. It was totally redundant. The point was so stupid.
Because
No
he never
one's
has to
made more.
play. Yeah, he never plays any tournaments. So
That's it. That's it. But no, I have the optimism that a lot of people don't. But then, I'm a Palace fan, and you have to take, faith, and you have to take the good from what very little is there. So this is right up my street.
I know. I went fucking ham the last time saying that you should stick with your team, and I'm here being like, Ireland are shite. I wouldn't even bother. But, you can just hop on the bandwagon when it's time to do so as well.
Yeah, well, it wasn't great. It was pretty poor for a while. But not to sound too pointed, but to get rid of Kenny for Sean Dyche or Sam Allardyce or one of those type of managers would take us back pre-Charlton. No, that's not the way of football anymore. You don't win that way. Even look at fucking North Macedonia in the Euros. They didn't sit back and defend and hoofball. They weren't brilliant, obviously, but if Ireland were in their place, we've seen it in the past. It's sit back and just hopefully get one on the break. And we've had some of the best results against teams that we're not expected to beat, but it's pure fluke. It wasn't from footballing talent.
Yeah, I know. It's true. It's true. It's just, it's just frustrating when Kenny started off so badly and then got kind of good. And I think they hadn't lost since the Portugal game, which was really just 2 Ronaldo headers that you can't really do much against. And then they went on this unbelievable streak. And then to lose the 2 fucking games against Armenia. Was it Armenia? Armenia and Ukraine, fair enough. It's just disappointing.
It just feels that that team need to be a club team to do really well. I think now the big gap and the big breaks don't do them any favors. Which that's international football. You should be able to work around it. But yeah, they'd be a really good club team, but it's not the way.
Maybe we could apply to join the Welsh division or something.
Go in the League of Ireland, yeah. It's
yeah.
If the league wasn't imbalanced enough as it is.
I saw today a bunch of Bray fans attacking stewards in Longford.
Yeah. Did you see that, Andy?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. They're called Bray fans, but Bray merged with Cabinteely at the start of the season, and Bray never had any fans. So they followed the team now called Bray Wanderers, but I think they're probably formerly Cabinteely fans.
I've never even heard of that place.
Yeah, me neither.
No, I think they were a Dublin team, somewhere in Dublin.
I mean, Wicklow's basically all a Dublin suburb at this point.
Yeah. That's where Shamrock Rovers play.
That's something new.
Yeah. Well, in the desperation for a bit of football content, because between the three of us and the greater world, I'm pretty sick of Sky Sports every half an hour or so saying that there's some wild transfer rumor or some golfer I don't know defected away from PGA. It's I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
But I listened back to our pre-season podcast, and you know what? We got a lot of things right. So, fair play.
Yeah. I should acknowledge that I said Van Dijk would never get back to the player he was, and I was wrong. I also thought I pipped Leeds to be relegated, but I didn't hear myself say that, so that was disappointing. My relegation guesses. We did get a lot of things right because we were saying Newcastle would be in trouble. We did say Leeds would be in trouble. We said Burnley would be in trouble, but the three I picked were fucking Norwich, Brentford, and Wolves.
Hmm.
Yeah.
One thing that really early on in that podcast, and it's number 38 if anyone wants to have a listen back, is he did say that Nuno Espirito Santo to the Spurs was bizarre and he wouldn't last very long. And I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he was quite, it's hard to remember he was actually managing a team last year.
And he went on won his first 3 games. He
Yeah,
was top of the table.
he was.
Yeah, and we did say Chelsea looked like they'd be in trouble. I know Chelsea came like fucking third, but they're on a downward spiral now.
But they're really they really could see. I know we spoke about it last podcast, but they could be in serious trouble now. Like they lost Rudiger.
Yeah, well,
Christensen,
Christensen's gone on a free to Barca.
Alonso
Alonso and
might.
Azpilicueta, yeah, going to, and they're not as strongly rumored in these transfers. You know, like when they link City to someone, it's usually PSG and Chelsea are also interested. You know, that kind of way. They're not really being linked to many, and I suppose
I've
the
heard
takeover
nothing.
is only. Yeah, I mean that's part of the takeover, right? I think there has to be you have to cease outside of normal business operations. Probably transfers aren't deemed that. I don't know, but yeah, I mean they've got a loan army that they can get through on as Sir Frank Lampard has proven. But I don't know. It could be right again this year. Could be right again.
Mm-hmm. Do you know one thing? Just talking about the off season and stuff, I saw someone suggest that that teams shouldn't be allowed to announce their signings when they sign. That there should be a date set like the week before the season starts, and nothing is confirmed. So like Liverpool do their business, Chelsea do their business, United do their business, and then there's like one unveiling day, like an event, almost like a pay-per-view event or something, that every team like parades their new signings. So you're just going through like 2 months of rumors and all this kind of shit, and then it's like, oh god, they've signed. You'd have Jim Ross do the commentary or something. I thought it was a fucking nonsense idea, but it was kind of fun to think about.
Yeah, I think they do that in American sports where it's like contracts rather than transfers. So you'll have release day like you got in the Premier League or in English football, and it's but a lot of them are they've signed, kind of thing. It's it's happened.
Yeah, like they're not all going to keep tight-lipped, are they? But
no, probably more of a photo opportunity than anything else.
Yeah.
But you did say though in that pre-season review, that Everton will never get anywhere while Jordan Pickford's in goal. And I mean, very astute, I have to say. Tip my hat.
I've been saying this since before Everton even signed him. When he was still at Sunderland. They were getting somewhere back then. They fucked it all up by signing this fella. Yeah, I mean Everton. What a joke! What a big fat joke.
I think we all kind of predicted that United would do better than they did. I mean, but someone did say something actually just towards the very end about when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets the sack, and it was kind of a little bit of tongue in cheek. But looking back, I mean, we're just so right. We're just always right.
Yeah, if I said it wasn't tongue in cheek.
Yeah, I mean, we underestimated just how demented that fan base is. You know, I don't think we could have anticipated that they would hound out a living legend of the club who got them to finish second, got them to Europa League final. This guy who saved the club from oblivion after Mourinho had sent it down the tubes. And for all he's done, for them to treat him that way in the end, it makes me sick.
It is really interesting to listen back to us, though, and like United had just finished second after a really good season, really.
Yeah.
You know, Fernandez had done brilliantly, and they had just signed Sancho and they had just signed Varane. They hadn't even signed Ronaldo yet, and we were like, yeah, they're getting some pretty good signings considering how well they did last season. They could be doing pretty well. And when you look at where they are now, it's nuts. Nuts.
Yeah.
It is.
And Pogba walking out the door, this guy who has been the face of his team for like the past, what is it, 7 years? 6 years?
God.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, 4 or 5 anyway.
That's
Cavani
right.
gone.
Two in the past 2 years, he's been the face of this team.
Pogba. When did he resign?
I don't know. I don't think he did actually. It's probably like 4 years.
Yeah.
But see the way they treated him, like the way they treated Ole.
Yeah.
I mean, these people, they boo Alex Ferguson. That's what they're like.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't know how good they had it.
They don't know anything.
It's true. I mean, yeah, listening back to that preseason podcast, yeah, I think it just confirmed what I already knew, that outside of like the three of us, no one knows anything about football. But we clearly do.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Mm.
And even trying to predict who's going to get relegated is so hard because you don't really know much about the teams coming up, how they'll fare. And as well, like we said, Newcastle, we were right. We said Steve Bruce is a shit manager, and we were right.
Yeah.
But we couldn't predict Newcastle being taken over by Saudi Arabia. So I don't know. How can you fucking win in that situation? Like I consider that we were right. We pointed out Leeds, we pointed out Burnley, we pointed out Newcastle. Most of us, not me admittedly, but most of us said Watford, and I think everyone said Norwich. So, you know, maybe we're footballing geniuses, or maybe every Joe Soap who's ever watched a game of football could tell you that.
Mm.
Geniuses, I'd say. Yeah. Yeah. Only what you've said to go off, and it's pretty convincing to me that everyone else is rubbish at football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes.
But it was, I'm not sure who said it exactly, but another triumph of the podcast this year was that, and this is after he had one of the grandest unveilings or signings in the summer, was that Sancho would be a bad signing as Timo Werner. How right that was.
Mm. Very astute.
Indeed. Leads me to the... Sorry.
I mean, that's even more impressive just considering how highly rated Jadon Sancho was. Like, he was the top talent in his age bracket. And he's a big fat joke.
I think, you know what, and I'm half serious about this too. But a lot of the signings that have come from the Bundesliga, big signings now, in recent years have been atrocious. Werner, Sanchez, Pulisic,
Aubameyang.
Aubameyang, Werner. So I'm just going to go out on a bit of a hot take here,
Minamino.
and say, well, the same, completely overrated. Won't score more than 15 goals to City next year.
Sorry, who? Haaland? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Haaland, yeah, sure. And he's injured all the time.
And I think he won't hack it. I think he's got a temper, and I think he will see a few reds next year.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely.
And Pep doesn't like too much of a personality. Like, he likes, unbuttered brown bread and a slice of ham, like Kevin De Bruyne.
He learned his lesson from Ibra. I was just going to say Ibrahimovic.
Yeah. So it's interesting. We will see. But that's my that's the hill I'll die on for the next, 20 podcasts.
I want to check just on the talk of flops, because you were naming out a few from the Bundesliga there. Would you consider Havertz has been a flop.
Massive flop.
Yeah, for the amount of
Okay.
money spent too, and the hype, and how good he was in the Bundesliga.
Yeah. No, it was interesting. That was an opinion I heard, and I kind of thought it was interesting because it seems like when he plays, he kind of does score, and he scored the fucking Champions League final winner. So I was like, maybe he wouldn't be considered a flop, and there's still time to go. But I think the money, 90 million or something. I mean, he's got to be a flop, surely. So I just wanted to double check.
I think put in a position, any one of us could score in a Champions League final. I just
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
true.
that makes me
That's
a good
true.
player.
That's what
Yeah.
Solskjaer did. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If I was at the back post, I'd probably be able to tap it in. Like, honestly.
From 2 yards out.
Yeah,
Are you
I
sure?
might miss. I might, but like, I'm just saying that you've never put me in a Champions League final, so you never really know, and you couldn't say I couldn't.
Wow,
So, just saying.
it's a very good point. The transfer window's open if anyone's looking for a 31-year-old poacher on the cheap. He's
Yeah.
right here, baby.
Yeah, I am definitely on the cheap. I'll take anything at this point.
Take it.
The price of my weekly shop is up about 15%. So if you can cover that, I'll actually be really pleased.
Lovely. I actually have a couple of hot takes that I never got to do. Can I fly through them?
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. We'll see if they're outdated because they're actually even on my old phone. They're so old. I'll just go through them. Right. Klopp had a tougher job when he came into Liverpool than Ten Hag does now at Man United.
Ooh, that is a good one.
No, there were solid foundations at Liverpool laid by a competent manager, and they had the team behind the scenes who were unproven but better than the Glazers, who are proven incompetence.
I must say no, because Liverpool didn't have Ronaldo. There was no Ballon d'Or winners that I'm aware of. No, there wasn't any Ballon d'Or winners. Probably not even. Actually, there probably was. As I said, there's not even any Champions League winners, but there probably was.
Klopp's was a lot more proven than Ten Hag as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. So you both think Ten Hag has a harder job, is that right?
I mean, he's walking into a fucking pigsty, yeah.
Yeah. Ultimately, he doesn't have a job in about 6 months' time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Klopp, you always knew Klopp was going to get time, regardless of what happened. Ten Hag, he could be fired in 2 months' time.
He could do a Ragnarok and just walk out disgusted after his first month there. I would.
I would too.
Okay. Okay. Officials should be subject to press conferences and interviews after games.
No.
No?
No.
No!
I
What
mean,
the fuck?
No.
what
because
do you
that
expect to
would-
get from them? Like,
I would just love to be able to hear someone go up to a ref. Oh. I would love to be able to hear someone go up to a referee after a game and say, "Why didn't you give that penalty? Why didn't you give that handball? You know, what happened? What was said to you from the from VAR to not give that? You know, these kind of things that is always speculated. It would just get rid of that."
they wouldn't
would
give you a
you-
straight answer.
But that's it, because I'm saying no, because that would come from a journalist or Sky Sports or someone, and they'd pressurize it, and that's where more bias would be created, because they get pissed off in certain ways. I do think that there needs to be like explanations given, but that can just be maybe like a statement post game that comes out. You know, maybe that they just need to add that little review or more transparency with VAR, because like a referee's job is stressful enough. It's really tough. Like, I know we give out about referees all the time, and the referees in the Premier League are a bad standard for how high the level of football is. But can you imagine making an error that you know is an error, having 80,000 people in the stadium at you, players on the pitch at you the whole game, to come back and then have some, like, I don't know, some fella from Sky Sports like trying to chip away at you and blatantly telling you you've made a mistake? Like, you'd walk away, or you'd be like, the amount of pressure would be too much. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Players, every time there's a goal scored, it's because someone made a mistake on the opposing team. So, like, every single player on the field probably makes a mistake multiple times per game, but they don't have to do these individual interviews with everyone being like, "You fucked up there, didn't you?" Yeah, referees fuck up all the time, but like, so does everyone else on the field.
Okay. Alrighty. Kind of along the same vein, VAR has had a negative effect on football.
My personal enjoyment of football has probably reduced with VAR, even though it is probably for the best. But I can't even enjoy a goal or anything now because I have to stop myself from celebrating because I know there's going to be VAR and it could be wiped off. And people say it's better to just live in the moment and enjoy it, even if it gets taken away later, because at least you have that moment of happiness. But the moment when it's taken away is so bad if you do that I can't handle that. I can't deal with them chalking off goals after I fucking celebrated. No, I can't do that. It really I can't celebrate goals unless it's clear that there's no infringement or whatever. Like, anyway, that's just me.
Yeah, exact same. Honestly, it is better. I think the season it rolled out, the COVID year, it was could have been a bit better. It didn't really make much sense. Yeah, do you know, the handballs and stuff. And yeah, the thing I don't like about VAR too is, like, in the Ireland game earlier, when did the ball cross the line or not? It was a good 90 seconds before they checked it. You know, that's a lot of time in football, really. And it does slow the pace down a little bit. But yeah, it has benefited the game because, yeah, look, all I'll say is Man United haven't won jack shit with VAR.
That's true, actually.
Do you know, I was reminded during the week when I was looking at that question of the handball that wasn't given against City in the game against Everton. And I was like, you know what? That's what VAR was there for the whole time. And I know there's always going to be an element of human error, but fucking these trained refs, when everyone else in the world can see it's a handball and this one guy or three guys in a booth can't, and it's actually decided the league when you look back on it. That's when I was like, I think it's had a negative effect. Just full stop. Because there's, like, they've done all this shit to bring it in. It takes up so much time, like you said, and they're still getting not just the wrong results, but actually deciding where league titles go. It's fucking crazy to me. Like, why even bother then, you know? And the same with fucking, I know it wasn't VAR, but remember Sheffield United got relegated instead of Villa because of the ball going over the line and no one saw it? I mean, you know, just fucking let the ref decide then at the end of the day whether it goes over the line or not. Because if you're going to get it wrong with everything in place, then what's the point? Right. This one, I don't know. Real Madrid wouldn't finish in the top 4 in the Premier League.
No, they wouldn't.
You don't think so?
I don't think they'd finish top 6. This Real Madrid team is maybe the worst successful team ever. In my mind, they're on the same level as like Bayer Leverkusen or something.
I mean, they've still got Modric and Kroos and Benzema.
Modric, yes. Kroos. Yeah, Benzema. Fucking Jesus, that guy. Like, what a chancer! What a spoofer!
Just to put into context what you're saying that Man United would finish ahead of Real Madrid. Did Man United get 6th or 5th or something?
I think they would.
Mm.
I think they would. Man United are not running on luck the way Real Madrid are. Real Madrid are running on supernatural forces of good fortune. Man United, as you know, they're bad, but they're not lucky either. So they've,
Yeah.
they are where they should be. Real Madrid are not where they should be. They should have lost that final 5 or 6-0.
Yeah. That's the thing. Do you know what? I mean, I'm with Flynn. I'd nearly say, yeah, they won't. But then they're so poxy, they'd probably win the league. So
Exactly. Yeah.
can't really say it.
Like, I definitely think when you look at the top 4, like Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, on paper should finish above Real Madrid there. Spurs, maybe the way they're playing now, I don't know about over a full season. Arsenal, again, it's hard to know. It's hard to know.
Arsenal would cream Madrid if they played them. Odegaard!
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I could see Madrid also struggling against fucking Southampton.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, the likes of Villa, the likes of Palace, like all those kind of mid-table teams. So
Hey.
it's an interesting one. It gave me a. I had to think about it. Maybe I'll look for another one of those from another foreign team because they're good ones.
Yeah.
The last one, and I know it's another fucking Liverpool one, but it's because I'm always on the Liverpool sites. This one really wound me up, but Jordan Henderson got lucky. Him and Joe Allen were both bought around the same time, and similar players. One got lucky, and the other one didn't.
That's fair enough. Jordan Henderson was never anything special at the time. Certainly not. I thought Liverpool overpaid for him, 20 million or 25 million. And in many ways, I still think they overpaid for him.
Yeah,
Joe Allen brought a lot more to the field, I think.
But it's a weird one because, like, I think that's comparing them now. Like, they were signed completely differently. Like, Jordan Henderson ended up in the same role that, or he got his most success in the role that Joe Allen's in now. But when they were on the same pitch, they weren't playing for the same position, surely, were they?
No.
That
was the first thing that pissed me off. I don't think they're similar players at all, actually.
No, Jordan Henderson's a serial winner. And Joe Allen, who?
Welsh Shabby.
Chevy. It's this Henderson got lucky thing that really fucking winds me up. Like, I mean, how many managers has he had that keep playing him or put him captain or have him, first name on the team sheet, and people are still like, nah, they don't know what they're talking about, or I don't see what he does in games, or his passing isn't good. He's not particularly good at anything. Fucking winds me up, drives me to drink.
I mean, he's not particularly good at anything.
But he's a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none. Like, maybe you could make that point that he's very good at a lot of things, but he's not the best at anything. But that's kind of what definitely the Klopp system right now uses. But then he plays in England. Well, England is kind of the same. Like, England don't exactly have dynamo midfielders either.
No.
I just think he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I mean, to be trying to give Joe Allen the same credit as fucking Jordan Henderson is appalling.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think Henderson is underrated or overrated. I think he's just rated.
Yeah, he's where he should be.
King of the world.
All right. Okay.
Sorry.
I need to stop giving my opinions on these. That's it. That's what I got.
That's
I
all
got
right.
for now.
Sure, we only have a couple of minutes left anyway.
Yeah, it was
Perfect.
a fine spread of questions. So thanks again for those, Adrian.
No,
We'll
I
look
do.
forward to
Yeah, I
again. Yeah.
like those hot takes. All right.
Yeah, I'll try and keep them going. Britney Spears got married.
Did she?
She did.
Mm.
Yeah, she's out of
Someone
her.
crashed the wedding too, right?
She in Fern Hill.
Who crashed the wedding?
Her ex, I think.
Oh, really? Shit, I need to go on.
Colin Farrell.
One of her exes. All right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
She's the one that had the. What's the word for when she was controlled by her dad?
Oh yeah. But she
Conservatorship
Britney.
or conservatoryship.
Conservationalist. Yeah. One
He
of
was an
those.
environmentalist.
Yeah. And in fairness, I think her now husband, is like 20 years younger than her, so good on you, Brittany.
Yeah, sure. Fair
Good
play.
on her. What age is
Yeah.
she? As long as she's not like 30.
No. I mean, I'm just guessing, but she's probably like 40. She's got to be 40.
Yeah. She was a young teen when "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" came out, and that was what, late 90s.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So my answer is I don't know.
Let me see. Oh yeah, he did crash the wedding. She is 40 years on the button. Yes.
On the button.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Only
There's
10
life
years
in her yet.
older.
Hmm?
Only a few years older than us.
A good few years.
Yeah. We haven't had our "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" moment yet.
No.
No. It can
Plen-
come. It can come at any moment.
Plenty
You know,
of
like-
fighting this old dog.
I tell you, I might get some people wanting to sign me, for a Champions League final.
He's a poacher.
Brittany is the Man United of pop stars.
Free United.
Oh, we got to save that.
We're
for
at that
next time.
time. We're done. We gotta go.
That's
We're
it.
done.
All the
Gotta
best.
go.
You've been listening to the Put 'em Under Pressure podcast. For more of our content, make sure that you follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. Outro music.